Guys, I just saw an article and wanted to make this video letting you know what's going on with the EA Sports college football game we're all waiting for that's going to be released in the summer of 2023. And then I want to go over a quick wish list of what this game needs to have because this has the potential to be the greatest video game of all time, or at least one of the best if they do it correctly. They have to do it right, but it has potential. College football, NCAA 2023. Let's talk about this. It says EA Football release date, features, 10 things to know. And then it talks about its potential release date. It says EA Sports typically releases sports games just before their corresponding real-world seasons begin. And then it gives an example of the NFL men games releasing in August. So that means we'll likely see EA College Football in late July or early August. And you can see this tweet. It says news. According to the internal documentation from CLC that I obtained via open records request, the CLC told FBS institutions that EA intends to release the new video game July of 2023. So if I had to predict, probably like a year from now, maybe a little over a year, I would say anywhere from July 20th to July 25th, 2023, they will release it. I wish they released it in June because we could get like 2 months of playing time in the offseason before the season starts. I would love to do a dynasty mode. I would love to build up a team, but a lot of that depends on how much recruiting they implement into the game. That's what we really want. But guys, what you need to know on the release date, my projection is late July. Anywhere from like July 20th to July 28th, somewhere late July 2023, basically a little over a year from now, we will be seeing this video game get released. And then this is a very interesting thing. I do not think this is going to be an issue, but it says teams in EA College Football. According to Holt, EA Sports has partnered with a licensing company to make sure the company has the ability to bring FBS schools, playbooks, etc. to EA College Football. This means the game could have over 100 teams in the game, though it may not have all of them. I think it will have all of them personally. According to an ESPN report, Notre Dame won't provide its name, logos, and other branding property to EA Sports. This could change, and it will change. It's going to change. Notre Dame, this is going to be a major college football game. Notre Dame is going to want their name in this. They're just holding out, it looks like, trying to get more money. But the school says it won't until new rules that determine whether athletes will be able to receive a cut of the game's profits are finalized. So they should be in the game. And then this, it says, out of the 130 teams in FBS, 118 are part of the CLC. These are the 12 teams that currently would not be in the game. Air Force, Arizona State, Army, Clemson, Georgia State, Kentucky, Navy, New Mexico, Notre Dame, Pitt, Troy, and USC. So I'm assuming at all 100, actually there's 131 FBS teams now, I believe, with James Madison. Is that correct? But either way, guys, every team should be in the game. It's going to be huge. These teams, especially like if Ohio State and Michigan are in the game and Notre Dame's not, you're going to want to be in it. So they're just waiting. They're playing hardball, whatever. I wouldn't read too much into this. I wouldn't get worried. All the teams should be in the game. And then, of course, this is the major question people have. Are real players, are you going to be able to play as Trevion Henderson, as Bryce Young, with the NIL? Real players in EA College Football. While real college teams will be in the game, it's unclear if EA College Football will include real players. As of right now, the game won't, but that could change after a U.S. Supreme Court ruling. Last year, EA told ESPN it was planning to move forward without rosters that include the NIL of real college players. That was because NCAA rules prohibited athletes from selling their NIL rights while in college, which obviously has since changed, and we know all of the terrors that the NIL has caused throughout recruiting. We had Texas A&M in 2022. We have Miami now in 2023 blatantly cheating. But this could be one of the good things that comes from the NIL, to where if players are able to use their name, image, likeness, we can use them in the game and use, those type of rosters. And I'm sure these players would love it. They would only get more popular if you put a certain player in a game, maybe that you didn't even know about, but he's a real life player on, let's just say, UAB. Let's say you're building a UAB dynasty, you play as him. Now you know about him. It's going to get players more recognition. It's going to help their NIL even more, because the more recognition they get, the better brand deals they're going to be able to sign. So the players, I would say, are going to be the big thing I'm interested in. And this comes down to my quick little checklist. I'll probably make a more in-depth one at a later date, but right now I'm just going to go through 4 things that I really want EA to focus on when they come out with this video game. You have to do it right. Please do it correct, and please focus on the right things. So let's go through this. Utilize NIL to get real players in the game. We talked about that. Should be a no-brainer. It's a way better user experience than not being able to use players on a current roster. Night and day, not even close. And it helps with dynasty. It helps with creating teams, building teams up, rebuilds, playing as whatever team you want. It's just a better user experience by far. Not even a question. We have NIL. There's been a lot of bad stuff that's happened with NIL. I'm not against players getting paid. I'm saying, you guys know what I'm talking about. In recruiting, it's been a major issue. But this could help us at least. NIL could help us get real players in the actual college game. So that's the first one. The second one, GM coach mode, which is basically a type of dynasty franchise mode. Allow users to play in a simulation mode focused on recruiting and roster management. Like a dynasty, let's say I want to build up UAB football. Let's say I want to build up Fresno State. It should be allowed to where you can, create a really good simulation engine to where we don't want to play every week if we're in a dynasty mode. We want to simulate it and watch our team get built up through the years and keep advancing. So invest a lot into that. Number 3, this is the most important one. Invest in recruiting. This is a completely unique thing with college football. We don't want another Madden, okay? If you want to go play Ultimate Team, go load in Madden 23. This needs to be focused on recruiting. Have a 247 Sports composite with fully working crystal balls, player rankings, updates, and future classes. And what I mean by that, I would love for them to incorporate the 247 Sports rankings. So let's say I'm managing Ohio State football in 2022. You should be able to, through the, whatever screen, the recruiting screen, go into it, look at the current 247 Sports composite, top 250. You don't have to make it super in-depth. Make a top 250, have it update monthly, change some guys. Maybe one guy was a 4-star, now he's a 5-star, because that happens in real life. And I would love for them, I don't know if you have the rights to do this, but I would love for you to be able to actually, I'm sure they could mod it or something, actually recruit the current players that are being recruited by real schools. So like a 5-star in the class of 2023, for example, Brandon Innes, who's a 5-star, I would love to be able to recruit a player like that and have the actual recruiting rankings reflect in the game. This needs to be invested into. It's extremely unique to college football. And then, let's say you get a 5-star on campus, you don't even have to make real experts. You can make like fake recruiting experts, have them like crystal ball a player that just visited your school, crystal ball them to your school or whatever. And it would just be a cool thing to incorporate. This is totally unique. Again, if you want to play Ultimate Team or whatever and spend all this money on these fake cards or something, go play Madden. This is completely unique. This is what they need to be investing into. Recruiting, making the recruiting database unbelievable. And honestly, you could have the class of 2024 rankings because they've already released that, and then you could just make up players in the class of 2025. But I would love to see some type of 247 Sports composite. There's like 27, 28 composite 5-stars, and then like, you know, make a top 250 or 300 total, or even I would love to see like a top, you know, at least 1,000 players, whatever, and like make it kind of mimic real life. So like, again, the top 28 to 30 players are composite 5-stars. Then, you know, the next 300 players are 4-stars, and then they're all the 3-stars. So make it mimic real life. I know it would be tough to incorporate this, but it's so unique to college football. This is what they need to be doing, and it would create such a great user experience to where you could build a crazy dynasty with like Fresno State, and by 2025, you could have like a few 5-stars in your class, which would be crazy. So I would love to see them do that. And then this one is very simple and very easy. Allow conference realignment playoff size to be fully customizable. So if you want a playoff of 24 teams, you could do that. If you want the 12-team playoff with the first 4 teams getting byes, you could do that. Allow the format to be customizable. And then with conference realignment, if you wanted 3 super conferences and simulate through that, you could do it. Or if you wanted, you know, maybe the Big 10 goes to 24 teams. Maybe the Big 12 goes to 24 teams or something like that. Make the conferences fully customizable. Personally, I would probably just want to play real and how they're currently set. Because, well, I would probably play one simulation, make it crazy, but most of the time I just want to play it real. But you should be allowed to customize it. And then also the playoff should be customizable, like I said. But these are just the things that I would love to see them incorporate into the game. Allow us to build an actual dynasty. Incorporate real 247 rankings. I don't know if you can use the actual recruits. If you can't use the real recruits, you could still do a dummy 247 Sports composite with just fake players. I mean, it wouldn't be as good, but it would still be fine. It'd still be fun to do. And you can kind of see the entire top 100 at least players, the players that your top targets, things like that, kind of like how it is in real life. And then you can also like offer offer player scholarships, things like that, whatever. But so those are just a few things I would love to see them incorporate. Again, guys, I'm expecting a late July 2023 release date. So we would get like the last week of July to play it, all of August, and then most of August because the season starts in late August. So I kind of hope they release it in June, really as early as possible, so we can play it throughout the entire offseason. But again, we're going to have to continue to follow this. I'm sure they're going to put an exact release date at some point, you know, maybe in a few months. We'll see what the news is. But I just wanted to talk about this because I saw the story randomly like a few days ago, and just wanted to make a video on NCAA football 2023. We hope that they are able to utilize NIL to get real players in the game, which will only benefit the players. It'll make them more popular. Play as Caleb Williams on USC. Play as Spencer Rattler on South Carolina. You know, Trevion Henderson on Ohio State. It'll make the players even more popular, which will help them make more money because they'll be more popular and they'll get better NIL deals. So this is a positive that could come from NIL, being able to get the real college players in the actual video game. We're all extremely excited for this game, guys. I will continue to update everyone. It's a developing story, but make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.